The ballroom was silent. Hundreds of people sat frozen in their chairs. Robert stood on stage holding a microphone. I stood near the center aisle holding a folder thick enough to change lives. For several seconds, nobody moved. Nobody spoke, then Robert forced a smile. "Sarah," he said, "if you have a question, we'd be happy to answer it later." His voice sounded calm, but I knew him well enough to hear the strain underneath. I smiled politely. "No," the word echoed through the room. "It can't wait." A few investors exchanged glances. Several board members shifted uncomfortably. Robert's smile weakened. "What exactly is this about?" I slowly walked toward the stage. Every step felt heavier than the last, not because I was afraid, because I knew there was no turning back. Once the truth came out, everything would change for everyone. I reached the front of the room, then turned toward the audience. "Many of you knew my husband," heads nodded. "Many of you trusted him," more nods. "And many of you trusted Robert." Now the room grew noticeably quieter. Robert folded his arms. "What are you doing?" I ignored him. Instead, I opened the folder. The sound of papers turning seemed impossibly loud. Then I lifted the first document. "A forensic review has confirmed millions of dollars were moved through unauthorized accounts." The room exploded into whispers. Robert immediately laughed, a fake laugh, a nervous laugh. "That's ridiculous." I held up another document. "These accounts were controlled by Robert Parker." The whispers grew louder. Investors began examining one another. Board members looked alarmed. Robert stepped forward. "Those records are incomplete." I expected that response. In fact, I had prepared for it, so I removed a second folder, then a third, and finally a fourth. The sight alone changed the atmosphere, because innocent people rarely fear evidence. Guilty people do. I handed copies to several attorneys seated near the front. Their expressions changed almost immediately. One attorney's eyes widened. Another stopped taking notes. A third removed his glasses and reread the same page twice. The room sensed something was wrong, very wrong. Robert saw it too, and for the first time, panic appeared in his eyes. Then came the moment that truly shattered him. I nodded toward a technician standing beside the projector. The screen behind Robert came to life. Audio controls appeared. Robert turned pale, instantly, because he knew, somehow he knew. The technician pressed play, and Robert's own voice filled the ballroom. "We can't let him audit the accounts." The room froze, absolute silence. Then Linda's voice followed. "What if he finds out?" Robert's recorded laughter echoed across the hall. "He won't." People stared at the stage, then came the sentence. The sentence that destroyed whatever remained of his credibility. "If Michael becomes a problem, we'll handle it." Gasps erupted throughout the room. Someone stood up. Another investor cursed under his breath. Several board members looked horrified. Robert rushed toward the projector. "Turn that off." Too late. The damage was done. Years of lies collapsed in seconds. The mask was gone, and everyone could finally see what had been hiding underneath. Several weeks later, I met Vanessa one last time, not because I wanted to, because she requested it. Again, this meeting felt different. No lawyers, no accusations, no hostility, just two women sitting across from each other. Both damaged by the same man, both manipulated by the same family, neither truly happy about how everything unfolded. Vanessa looked exhausted. "You were right." I raised an eyebrow. "About what? The truth catching everyone?" A sad smile crossed my face. Neither of us spoke for a moment, then she surprised me. "I want to apologize." I stared at her. For the first time since the funeral, I believed she meant it. Not because she wanted money, not because she wanted sympathy, because she genuinely regretted her actions. "I should never have come to that funeral." "No," I said quietly, "you shouldn't have." She lowered her eyes. "I thought I'd won." The honesty caught me off guard. "I thought I was replacing you." Pain flashed across her face. "But I wasn't replacing anyone." "No, you were being used." She nodded slowly. Tears formed in her eyes. Not dramatic tears, not performative tears, the quiet kind, the painful kind, the kind people cry when they finally understand reality. "I lost everything." For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then I remembered 26 years of marriage. The lies, the betrayal, the humiliation. Still, I also recognized something important. She had paid a price. A heavy one, maybe not the same price I paid, but a heavy one nonetheless. When we stood to leave, she looked at me. What will you do now? I thought about the question, then answered honestly, move forward. And for the first time, that answer felt real. The meeting ended in chaos. Lawyers surrounded Robert. Board members demanded explanations. Investors demanded answers. Security quietly moved closer. The company immediately announced an emergency review. Within hours, news of the scandal began spreading. But the biggest surprise came later that evening. Linda called me. Her voice shook. Sarah, please. I almost didn't answer. Almost. But curiosity won again. What do you want? You have to stop this. I laughed. Actually laughed. The sound surprised even me. Stop what? The investigation. The recordings. The lawsuits. I sat silently for a moment. Then asked a simple question. Did you steal from Michael? Silence. A long silence. Finally she answered. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. That wasn't a denial. Not even close. It wasn't supposed to happen like this, she repeated. We only borrowed money at first. Borrowed. That word made me furious. Millions of dollars. Years of deception. And she called it borrowing. Then came the confession. The one she never intended to make. We thought Michael would never notice. I closed my eyes. There it was. The truth. Simple. Ugly. Greed. Not desperation. Not necessity. Greed. Pure greed. We deserved more, Linda continued. We helped build everything too. I finally understood. This had never been about survival. It had been about entitlement. Robert and Linda believed they deserved Michael's success. And when they didn't receive enough of it, they took it. Piece by piece. Year after year. Eventually convincing themselves it was justified. I ended the call. But not before recording every second. A mistake. One final mistake. And it would cost Linda dearly. Several weeks later, I met Vanessa one last time, not because I wanted to, because she requested it. Again, this meeting felt different. No lawyers, no accusations, no hostility, just two women sitting across from each other. Both damaged by the same man, both manipulated by the same family, neither truly happy about how everything unfolded. Vanessa looked exhausted. You were right. I raised an eyebrow. About what? The truth catching everyone? A sad smile crossed my face. Neither of us spoke for a moment, then she surprised me. I want to apologize. I stared at her. For the first time since the funeral, I believed she meant it. Not because she wanted money, not because she wanted sympathy, because she genuinely regretted her actions. I should never have come to that funeral. No, I said quietly, you shouldn't have. She lowered her eyes. I thought I'd won. The honesty caught me off guard. I thought I was replacing you. Pain flashed across her face. But I wasn't replacing anyone. No, you were being used. She nodded slowly. Tears formed in her eyes. Not dramatic tears, not performative tears, the quiet kind, the painful kind, the kind people cry when they finally understand reality. I lost everything. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then I remembered 26 years of marriage. The lies, the betrayal, the humiliation. Still, I also recognized something important. She had paid a price. A heavy one, maybe not the same price I paid, but a heavy one nonetheless. When we stood to leave, she looked at me. What will you do now? I thought about the question, then answered honestly. Move forward. And for the first time, that answer felt real. Nearly 6 months after the funeral, another discovery emerged. One final journal, one final recording, one final message. Hidden inside Michael's storage unit, the recording was addressed specifically to me, only me. My hands shook as I pressed play, then I heard his voice, for the last time. Sarah, tears instantly filled my eyes, not because everything was forgiven, because it wasn't. Some wounds never fully disappear. But hearing him again felt like opening a door to the past. If you found this, it means I ran out of time. I listened quietly, every word mattered. I know I hurt you. A pause, a lot. Another pause. I wish I could change that. My chest tightened. I spent too much time believing there would always be tomorrow. Tears rolled down my cheeks. Because wasn't that the real tragedy? Not the money, not the affair, not the scandal. Tomorrow. The tomorrow we all assume will arrive. The tomorrow that sometimes never comes. Michael continued. I made terrible choices. His voice sounded tired, older somehow, but one thing remained true. I held my breath. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. I closed my eyes. Years of memories flooded back. The good ones, before everything broke, before everything fell apart, before strangers entered our lives. Then came his final words. If you ever hear this, a pause, don't spend your life fighting ghosts. Silence. Then the recording ended, and somehow I understood exactly what he meant. A year later, life looked very different. Robert faced lawsuits, investigations, and criminal charges. Linda lost everything she had helped steal. Their reputations disappeared almost overnight. The company survived. Stronger than many expected, Emily and Daniel moved forward with their lives. And me, I finally learned something important. The funeral wasn't the day my life ended. It was the day it began again. Strange, isn't it? One seat. One stolen seat? That was where everything started. When Vanessa sat beside Michael's coffin, I thought she had taken something from me, my dignity, my place, my future. But she hadn't. Not really, because positions can be stolen. Appearances can be stolen. Money can be stolen, but truth always finds its way back. Eventually, every lie creates a debt, and sooner or later, someone pays. Looking back now, I realize revenge wasn't what healed me. Justice helped, truth helped, but healing came from something else. Letting go, choosing peace after the storm, choosing tomorrow instead of yesterday. Sometimes people betray you, sometimes they humiliate you. Sometimes they break promises you trusted with your whole heart. But their choices do not have to define the rest of your story. And that's the lesson I carry with me now. The woman who walked into my husband's funeral thought she had won. The people who lied, cheated, and manipulated everyone thought they had won too. But victory built on deception never lasts. Sooner or later, the truth arrives. And when it does, no amount of money, power, or confidence can save the people standing on the wrong side of it. As for me, I no longer think about the seat she took. I think about the life I rebuilt afterward, because that became the real ending. Not revenge, not scandal, not inheritance. A second chance, and sometimes that is the greatest victory of all, the end.